Well, good afternoon, Northlanders. It's Thursday, 24th of May. It's about 5:30 in the evening. I've just come out of the house. We're at the end of a 4-week stint in Wellington, and looking forward to heading home for a 2-week recess. And in those 2 weeks, we've got a hell of a lot of different events on the go. But I'll just start off with what's happened this week. This week, we've been continuing in predominantly the budget debate, which is about basically 12 hours spread over 3 days of debating the budget back and forth about what's going on. And there's been some seriously, I guess, disappointing aspects of this budget. And there is some, some positive things as well. One of the things in the budget that struck me is that this government promised the earth, they promised the kitchen sink, basically. They were going to be everyone's saviour in terms of funding. They kept repeating this myth that we've left huge holes in infrastructure and funding and health and education and everything else. The budget comes around, and I'll give you one example: health. The funding that they've applied for this year's budget for health, it is not very different from what we had in our previous budget. The so-called big hole in health, and yet they are running the same funding. So it sort of blows their story out in terms of, it makes a myth of it, really. So anyway, that's one of the things that came out of this week. I contributed, as did everyone else in the National Party, in terms of the debate. I had 5 minutes in the budget debate where I laid down my disappointments in terms of the budget for Northland, because that's where my focus is, and that's where my dreams are, the Northland dreams. So I laid that out, and I also contributed to a Families Commission bill, which was about more along the lines of social investment, getting rid of the old and bringing in new social investment, which this coalition government have renamed the social well-being. Instead of social investment, they call it social well-being, same thing. A little bit like the CPTPP and the TPP. Just change the name of it, it's essentially the same thing. So that was a good thing. So I was involved in that. We've had a really interesting week in terms of in the House. It's been quite a bit of robust debate and rough and tumble. I'm not going to talk about anything to do with the Speaker and his rulings. We're forbidden from doing that. But I can tell you what, it's been a very interesting week for us, and I would use the word challenging this week, to try and operate as an opposition, an effective opposition, within the rules that are laid down for us. Sometimes it can be very difficult, and we're addressing that where and when we can. So what's happening next week is I've got a series of events on next week around the electorate, and then including I'm going to be going for a tour of TVNZ. Through the whole studio and meeting all the staff, as are a number of other MPs from all sides of the House. I'm also involved in helping in the Northcote campaign. Myself and along with a bunch of other MPs are going to be helping Dan Bidwar win re-election in the Northcote campaign, which is on election day. By-election day is the 9th of June, so I'll be down there on the 9th of June as well, supporting him. So I've committed myself to quite a bit of work in that area as well. What's happening on the 7th of June in Northland? Simon Bridges, our leader, is coming north, and he's going on a bit of it's part of a regional tour. He's going to be in Kaikohe at 10 a.m. at the Kaikohe RSA for a meeting where he will be available for a question and answer session, quite a considerable long one in terms of question and answer. So everyone's welcome to come along and ask us anything. I'll be there as well. Then we're going through to Paihia for lunch at a Thai restaurant on the main street of Paihia. That'll be a lunch, and everyone's welcome to come to that as well. In the afternoon at 3 o'clock, we're having another meeting at the Kerikeri RSA. We're again open to the public. Everyone's welcome to come along. And then that evening, we're having dinner at the Marsden Estate, and again, everyone is welcome to come. So that's 7th of June. So if you need to get any more detail about that, contact my office in Kerikeri at 09 4077 219. So that's me for the week. I hope everyone has a safe week, a safe weekend, and I will touch base with you next week. Cheers.